Inoue versus Donaire. This fight needs to happen in 2022. It needs to happen in 2022. It's one of those that needs to happen. I dropped a video a couple months ago saying that this fight needed to happen next. Didn't happen next. But both these guys fought inferior opposition the same weekend. So being that they fought the same weekend, they're on the same time scale. There's no reason that that fight shouldn't happen next now. There's no reason that that fight shouldn't happen in, say, spring or summer 2022. Donaire has put together an impressive 2021, beating Ubali by knockout, beating Gaballo, defending and beating Gaballo by knockout. Why that's impressive, he won a legitimate championship at 118. That's impressive being that he's 39 years old. He's reinvented himself. It's one thing to win a legitimate championship at 39, but to win it in a lower weight class where you're facing high volume punchers, you need to figure out a way to slow these guys down when you're up there in age. It's impressive. It's highly impressive. It's also highly impressive how he has reinvented himself. Me and D-Style Boxing were talking about this the other night. He thinks that Donaire is better at 39 years old than he was at, say, 29 years old. And that's saying something because he was a special talent back then, but he's becoming one of the best fighters of our generation by reinventing himself. Sort of like when Jordan became a fadeaway shooter and became a better all-around shooter as his natural athletic abilities started to wane later on in his career. But he was still one of the best in the 90s, but even when he played with the Wizards, one of the best players in the league, and a perennial all-star. And he did that by rounding out his game to make up for athletic ability that was leaving him. Donaire is doing a similar thing. He's becoming a two-handed fighter, becoming more technical, becoming more patient, just becoming a better all-around fighter at 39 years old, and that's saying something. Inoue is just a special talent. He's one of the top four as far as just athletically gifted and boxing ability. He's got it all. He's up there with Canelo, Usyk, Crawford, and Inoue. Those are the four best pound-for-pound fighters if you're looking at everything. If you're looking at not only resume, but you're looking at guys with boxing ability, technical ability, punch placement. They're willing to go through fire to get guys out of the ring. He's up there with those guys. But his 2021 hasn't been a great year. It just hasn't been. Inferior opposition has looked great beating them, but you want to see him step back up that competition in 2022. So that brings me to my point of this video. This fight needs to happen. I dropped a video a couple months ago saying that this fight needs to happen next. It didn't happen next, but they fought on the same weekend, which means they're on the same timetable, which means there's no reason that this fight shouldn't be made for spring or summer 2022. There's no reason why these camps shouldn't get together and say, this is the fight that makes sense. We have 3 of the 4 major belts. Who knows what's going to happen with Casimiro's belt? Will it become vacant? Will he still have it? But this is a legit unification fight. Real championship belts on the line. And it's a fight that makes sense, being that Donaire has earned his way back into the talk with Inoue. Coming off the loss of 2019. This is a rematch that needs to happen. Donaire gave Inoue his most competitive fight to date. And there's no reason to believe that anybody else out there in and around 118 will give him a more competitive fight than Donaire right now. At least at 118 and lower. Inoue is a special talent, like I said. But he needs a sense of urgency in 2022, and Top Rank needs to step up how they're promoting him in 2022. So why not do a unification fight in a rematch that everybody wants? All Asian fight, big fight over there, big fight in America. Both guys are known here. So it's an international fight. Also, like I said, Donaire has put together a great 2021, but he's 39 years old. Why that's important is that window is closing. So although you can make the argument that yes, Donaire is the best he's ever been, I wouldn't make that argument. I still would take athletically prime Donaire over Donaire today. But still a great fighter. And that window is closing. Can he still perform this way at 40? Can he still perform this way at 41? Highly doubt it. So you got to strike while the iron's hot. These guys should show a sense of urgency of wanting to become undisputed at 118. This fight needs to happen. It makes perfect sense now. Their trajectories have met. It was a great original fight. Do the rematch and do it next. No need to marinate this. Let it marinate. Milk this thing. When you do that, sometimes those fights get ruined. A guy gets a cut. A guy gets a bad injury. A guy gets upset. Do the fight now. Donaire, Inoue, 2022. Make it happen.